Video review.
Arachnids have never been embraced by modern society. With their multitude of legs and mysterious nature, they create a healthy dose of fear in anyone unlucky enough to inadvertently cross their paths. Deadly Creatures does little to alleviate the inherent creepiness these critters carry with them. You'll alternate control between a scorpion and tarantula, but there aren't any cartoon nods to make these creatures more endearing. You are stuck controlling a realistic depiction of the terrifying creatures that have been the stars of many a frightened child's nightmares through the years. The story is every bit as strange as the two main characters. As you travel around a bevy of uninviting, poorly lit locales, you hear a smattering of conversations from two prospectors in search of buried treasure.
Start here?
No, I'm just getting my bearings. It's over this way.
Who we digging up anyway?
These gold diggers are the only two humans in the game, and while they don't carry a particularly enticing backstory, they do add a little personality to these otherwise sterile environments. The biggest problem is how small their role is, and how it seems to tie in only loosely to the insect's overall goals. You'll go through most of the game without any motivation pushing you to the next objective. The environments do not change too wildly through your journey as you're stuck in the desert throughout, but there is still some variety thrown in. Deadly Creatures offers an even mix of navigation and combat. Although your battle moves are slightly more over the top than what you'd expect from real arachnids, they still seem close enough to reality that they wouldn't feel out of place in a particularly aggressive nature video. As a scorpion, you can swipe at enemies with your pinching claws, poison them with your stinger, and dash out of the way to avoid a collision. As a spider, fights are based more on your mobility than your sheer strength. You can leap around the battleground, and you'll have to frequently hop around until your enemy opens themselves up for attack. If you do enough damage, you can perform an elaborate finishing move, which usually ends with a tail strike to some sensitive part of your enemy's anatomy. There's a mix of traditional and motion controls, and though pulling off elaborate motions in battle is not always responsive, the controls do a good job of making you feel like you are in the heart of these miniature battles. Every enemy requires a different technique to achieve victory. There are also some surprisingly epic boss fights. There's only a few boss fights in the game, but they are the highlights of your journey, placing a strong emphasis on your survival rather than your opponent's death. The visuals in Deadly Creatures are as detailed as they can without becoming gross. The realistic depiction of these creatures adds a lot to the experience, making you feel like you really are controlling them through these abandoned caves. The stars of this game are completely vile, and there's nothing done to make the slightest bit endearing. However, despite presenting a sickening world, this is a really well-made game that provides plenty of hair-raising moments and memorable duels. If there are a few more boss battles and more emphasis placed on the outlandish story, this could have been something truly special. Even though the adventure feels a little abrupt, the sheer originality of the journey makes it worth experiencing.